welcome back to another episode of GIN N TEA CHRONICLES, where my best friend Basha say hi.
Hello.
And I rewatch movies we grew up watching and discuss if they still hold up today. Sprinkled with some hilarious side comments, a fashion dissection, and a look at the socio-political impact the film has had. Today's movie, the 1995 super duper hit, the gold standard of love stories, Dilwale, Dulhania, Jayenge.
Yeah.
So just to get the ball rolling, the last two movies we realized were gigantic flops, and which made it easier.
Yeah, there was not a flop. I stand by
it. It was a gigantic flop, Pasha. You need to relax. Okay, don't trigger me again.
Yeah, it was Hritik's first flop. It was Hritik's first flop.
So the first two movies we reviewed were like flops of their time. And, it was easy to rip on them because either the direction was bad, the story was bad, the acting was over the top. There was something or the other to make fun of or to discuss. So we thought for a challenge this week, or we're not doing this weekly, we're doing this bi-weekly. So for these 3 days is to review a movie that actually was close to perfect at its time. Dilwale Le Jayenge is still in theaters. I mean, if there was no COVID, you could still go to Maratha Mandir and watch the 4:00 show, I think. But I think that's become more of a novelty. But the fact is that the film is still loved 26 years after it was first made.
Yeah, I love the movie. I think it's a great movie. It's difficult to discuss it, like just the bad things or just discuss it and like pick it apart. It'll be like really nitpicky of us to like go on about.
No, also to be very honest, last night I was watching it and I realized
that it's a good movie.
It is a near
still
perfect
a good movie.
Yeah, it's a near perfect movie. It's got a tight script. It's got great acting. The cinematography is on point. The direction.
Shall I start with the negatives? What I didn't like.
Let me first do a quick synopsis for that one person who lives under a rock that has never seen Dulhania Le Jayenge, but has come to our podcast for some reason. That one person. Raj, played by Shah Rukh Khan, and Simran, played by Kajol, meet during a trip across Europe. They do fall in love. However, when Raj learns that Simran is already promised to another, he follows her to India to win her and her father over. Will he be successful? Will they fall in love? Will they be together? These are the questions this movie answers.
Yes, they will.
Okay, now that we've got the synopsis out of the way, I also want to quickly add this film had some of the best casting I have. I don't think
casting was excellent
like ever before or ever after. Like this perfect. It was a near perfect cast. No, actually, it was perfect.
Really
I don't think I would cast anyone else in any role.
Yeah, you can't think of anyone else.
Yeah,
I agree.
So what is the one negative you want to talk about? Let's do this.
No, I have some negatives, but I feel like the one real issue I had watching it yesterday was the friendships, both Raj's friendship with his friends and Simran's friendship with her friends. Just terrible friendships. Like how do you plan to go and like win this girl over and her family over and stuff and not have your friends backing you? Like it's so weird to just go alone. If I had to go and stop a wedding nude, you'd come with me.
Dude, I would come with you and we might even hire some 3-4 other girls just to make our group look big.
No, I think we're fine. Just the two of us were fine. And I'd come with you if you had to go stop a wedding. I'd totally come with you. But the friendships that they shared, just terrible. They weren't supportive friends or anything. It was just sad.
Out friendship. Let's put it to that.
Yeah.
It wasn't, how every other relationship.
And that's why I feel like she had to find a friend in her mother and he had to find a friend in his father because they didn't have good friends.
Which is true, but I also feel that is, I think, where the writing was lacking. I feel like the story would have only benefited with even if each of them had that one good friend.
Yeah,
the story would have benefited. Though I think with Simran, the reason they didn't really give her that really good friend was because she had both her mother on one side, who was very emotionally there for her and understood her predicament the way she did, and then she also had her younger sister who also kind of was on her side and stuff like that. So I can see why they didn't give her Like,
And what
that
sort of
really
friends
good
don't
friend.
attend the friend's wedding? Like, what sort of friends is those?
Yeah, but
They're
then
like,
you
oh
also
no,
need
when
to
are you
understand
gonna
this was
come?
in the 90s, and traveling across the world was
Was expensive.
hard back then. It was not just like you could drop
Mm.
everything and come. You had to plan in advance. And she kind of left overnight 2 days after she came back from Europe. So you can
Which is the other
understand.
problem I had with the movie.
Yeah,
How do you
that was a
just
bit,
sell everything in a
that's a bit
day? Your
unrealistic.
business, your house, just and pack up all your shit
Yeah.
of like 20 something years and leave overnight. I mean that.
But you know what my problem with this film was, with just the basic premise of the film, is so you have this father here who lives in London, who has his family with him in London and everything, and he is taking advantage of the school system, the college system, the fact that he's earning in pounds and not in rupees and all of that. So he's basically taking advantage of everything that's good in the West. And then, but then, he wants this very sanskari Indian, connected to their roots family, to the point where the mother's still wearing her Punjabi suits and all of that. My problem,
even the daughters were wearing it.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I think the daughters also wore dresses and like
switching it up. Yeah,
yeah, they changed it up. So that's fine. But like, but what my problem here is, for someone whose opening monologue is about loving his country so much, and about how he feeds these birds every day, but doesn't feel anything for these birds because they're not Indian birds. I feel like
he's a racist.
He's a kind of a hypocrite, because you cannot live in a country, earn there, eat there, raise your family there, and then be like, oh, but this country doesn't belong to me. I'm a firm believer that you should become the person of where you are living at that moment. Like,
no, but that's the thing. Even in the previous movie, even in Yade that we watched, the same thing. There was like Sacha Hindustani. You were like, what is that?
Exactly.
A true Indian is the one who goes abroad, earns whatever they earn, and then they come back to their roots and retire in India. So those are the true
but
Indians.
Then see, also let's not forget that coming back to and retiring to India has very little to do with loving India. It has more to do that the dollar and the pound is more valuable here in India than it is over there. So they really cannot retire in the West. Earn that money and then you come and retire here, you retire like a millionaire. So, my issue is with this whole charade of like, oh, a Sacha Hindustani. And this is something, even till date, it is depicted in movies in India, that you can go abroad, you can do everything, earn there, live there. But then you come back to India because sanskar call you, and especially if your children start becoming too white for your liking or too westernized for your liking, then you're like, no, we have to be Indian. So like, I think, and also let's not forget, Baldev Singh brings his entire family back literally overnight because he like, his daughter says that she's in love with another Indian. I mean, God forbid if he was white.
She's in love with. No, but he didn't even hear her out. She just said, I'm in love with this person.
Yeah, he didn't even bother to find out. I'm like, look at this sanskari fucking girl has fallen in love with a fucking Indian only. Right? Like, I mean, see, at least I would have understood, like, the original casting was supposed to be Tom Cruise and all that. So I would have at least understood his rage if it was a white boy.
I can't imagine Tom Cruise in that.
Oh my God. Like, every time they say, like, I would read this piece of trivia, because this piece of trivia is repeated on every trivia page.
But was it true? Like, was that trivia true? I just thought it was a rumor.
It's there in the making. So Aditya really, his original story was an Indo-American story. Like, an Indian girl marries a white boy and father falls in love with a white boy, and then he follows her to India, and then kind of he dhalos himself in the whole Indianness of India and wins the family over. That was supposed to be the original story. It is Yash Chopra's gigantic brain and complete utter forethought that was like, Dekh bhai. Because see, Aditya Chopra does not aim low. He's like, मैं white insan के साथ movie बनाएगा, and that white insan will be Tom Cruise, who was on the top of his game at that time. Okay, in America, but in India, like, Mission Impossible is just about trying to come in here, and we're watching it, a few years later than the West was watching it. So I was like, he wasn't even a big star in India at the time. And it was insane. It was insane that he kind of put his foot down. Yash Chopra put his foot down and said, like, no, change it to an Indian guy, and trust me, the film will do really well.
It'll do well.
And I guess somewhere, you can see why Aditya listened to his father. He was also 24 when he made the film. So, you're very easily malleable.
But I liked how chill the movie was. Like the clothes were relaxed. Just the whole everything up until the end, where it got a little dramatic. Up till then, it was not dramatic.
It was not
so
dramatic.
it was really relaxed.
No, that's what I'm saying. The film is such a great watch even today. Like
and it makes you feel good, right?
It's a feel good movie.
And I was just sat down. Such a feel good film.
I sat down with a complete I'm gonna find something that is glaringly wrong. I've only been watching it with rose-tinted glasses and everything. I'm gonna do this right. And then Mere Khabo Mein, the song starts.
And you just
fuck my life, dude.
We all danced to this. It's so cute. It was so cute with the tal and everything. Oh my god, it was so cute. It was so cute.
Now that we know phrases like the male gaze and stuff like that, you realize that Kajol was shot throughout the movie through a male gaze scenario. Like the way she was styled, the way she was shot in songs like this, especially Mere Khabo Mein. There is that entire white skirt, tie-up top sequence in the rain. You can see that they have pinned the lower layers of the skirt to her whatever tights
shorts
underneath, so that it doesn't flail up and you can see her inner thighs. And yet when she is jumping in the rain like that, instead of keeping the shot straight dead on, they have tilted the shot for so that you do get a little bit of under the skirt action. And I realized that they did this a lot with her, even her running to catch the Urail train.
Oh my god, that was...
So there's no padded bras clearly at this time. So she's wearing a bra that's not padded and she's running. And her boobs are just going left, right, and it is jarring. Because once you realize that is what is happening, you just get so irked out, because then once it kind of came, like once I realized that is what they're doing, even the scene when Sheena...
And you saw it as a kid. Like I remember that as a kid, that
I thought that was an appropriate length of skirt, just FYI.
Okay.
As what, in 95 we must have been 6 years old? 6, 7 years old. And by the time we watched it, jahan pe hosh hawas the, so you must have been 9, 10 years old when you would have watched it hosh hawas ke saath. At that young age, you thought that tiny skirt was an appropriate length of skirt for a girl to wear. Not that I'm saying it's not an appropriate length, but I'm just saying...
Which length?
The white skirt.
Mere Khabo.
You thought that was an appropriate length of skirt to wear.
I feel like I still have those kind of skirts.
Which we do, which is very weird, because those are things that we've still kept with us. That, that's an appropriate length of skirt to wear. And then when you realize the reality we live in, of course that's an appropriate length of skirt to wear. There's no stress. But then when you realize the reality in which we live, is it though? That's the thing.
No, but as a 20-year-old, I think we've all worn.
Yeah,
I have like short, like such short dresses that now that I look at it, I'm like, my god, that's really short.
That's a short. Yes.
Yeah, that's a short.
That's not a dress. That's
like
a short.
I literally wear those with pants now, and I sometimes I wear those clothes and I'm like, what was I thinking? Was I really just wearing these without pants? And
no, and you know the thing is,
but you're like 20s.
There's youthful arrogance also when you're in your early 20s. You also think that you're invincible and all of that is also there. It's only when you collect life experiences and you've been in like really scary situations where you realize that, okay, though that skirt is great, that dress length is actually very flattering to your butt or your boobs or whatever it is, you realize that these are not realistic outfits that you can wear in today's world the way it is. As much as take your
which outfit would you like from the movie? Which outfit would you like even now?
That was one of my questions too. Yeah.
Really? Which one was it for you?
For me, there are actually quite a few. None of the Indian outfits, just because I feel like the Indian outfits dates the movie like crazy, but the Western outfits were so good. I loved the Zara Sa Jhoom Loon Main, the red dress. That is so my vibe.
The red dress. That's
snow,
so
that is my vibe.
Haven't I bought you a dress like that?
Yes, that is my vibe. And with the boots, I legit can cosplay as her because I have that entire outfit with me.
You have that outfit. You do.
So that's...
I like those dresses with the the t-shirt
Mhm.
worn in inside,
The
and then the
Phoebe
dress on
dresses,
top of
yeah.
that. Oh my God, I love those. And Sheena was wearing a leather one
That's the other thing.
when they were like walking and
Every
talking. Oh,
outfit
I love
Sheena has
those.
worn, every outfit Sheena has
Yeah,
worn in this movie,
yeah,
I'd wear. I'd wear.
so
Dude,
good.
her intro scene outfit, Sheena, when she's talking
Yeah, I
to
love that outfit.
to Simran,
Her leather
trying to confirm her, that leather with the shirt, leather dress with the shirt
with the
inside.
shirt inside.
Wow, what
Yeah,
a and
with that
it just goes to
white
show because
tee
apparently
inside.
she did her own clothes. And Ira did her
Um,
own clothes in the movie. It goes to show why she is the editor of Vogue today.
yeah, it was so good.
It was
Her clothes
insane.
were so good. Her
Oh,
clothes are very
I
good.
have clothes trivia. I have clothes trivia.
Of course, you do.
So you know the iconic jacket that Raj wears throughout the movie,
Of course.
the iconic black jacket. It is a Harley
Mm-hmm.
Davidson jacket. If you did not know, it has Harley Davidson on the back. In some shots, you can see it. And it was
Okay.
picked up on the spot by Uday Chopra for $400 in '95. And it was
$400.
$400 in 1995.
Oh
So
my God.
whoever is good with math and exchange rates, give me the figure
Oh
for today.
my God.
$400.
Oh my.
$400 by today's standard is also a lot to pay for a jacket.
Oh wow, that's quite a lot. I mean, and is that why he just wore it all the time? He's just like, I have to
Also,
get my
I'm
money's
assuming
worth.
that was like they had to cut like a whole bunch of like crew because of that fucking jacket. Which is why Karan was playing one role and doing AD. Sheena was doing clothes plus acting in it. So
I like how chill it was. I really enjoyed how like
was-
it felt really good to watch it. And
really
I'm not, you know me, I'm not a Shah Rukh Khan fan or something. I'm not you.
I stand.
You know, I'm not
stand.
I know. So I'm not one of those, but I genuinely really enjoyed watching it. And I think I texted you also saying like this is a hard movie. Like we're going to be really nitpicky if we're like trying to like,
which is why
you
I
know,
don't
find
think we should
flaws.
nitpick the story so much because, like I said, it's a tight script.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the script.
Yeah, it's a good script.
Also, the other trivia that I have is this movie came at a time when all the other movies, all the peers at the time, were doing movies where the boy and girl would run away because the parents would not agree. So whether it was Kayamat Se Kayamat Tak, I think Dil also.
Oh yeah.
Maine Pyar Kiya also they run away if I'm not mistaken.
What?
So
no, they don't.
Okay, somebody told me that
he runs away to like try and like win her father over.
Whatever.
He leaves the parents.
Okay, whatever. Somebody
and they do that weird dance in the temple.
Okay, I actually haven't seen Maine Pyar Kiya.
What?
I've never seen Maine Pyar Kiya. Yeah.
What?
Yes,
Why?
Yes, I knew this was gonna come up. I have never seen Maine Pyar Kiya. So, but I get all the references. I get all the references. And
no, Noora, you have to watch
I know.
So
eventually, when we review the movie on this channel, I'm keeping it for that experience.
I cannot believe you haven't watched it.
I know. Don't tell Surajji that I haven't watched it. I feel like he'll be really.
You love Surajji.
I know. He's my Baap. My 10 years career was because of Surajji and Karanji.
And you didn't watch his first movie?
First movie, I did not watch it.
Oh my God, you have no respect for me.
It's not even a lack of trying. I have tried to watch it. But like
I think it's a bit too late now. Like now you're gonna have to watch it just
which is why
forcefully.
I think when eventually we do review Maine Pyar Kiya, it would be great because you will come from watching it the first time from when it was actually released versus me coming watching it first time in 2021. It'll be insane. I think that'll be a good.
My brother does that like weird dance. So she's a terrible dancer, and my brother always sort of like mocked her. And every time that song came on, he would like start doing that step. I'm like, wow, please just stop. But he would do it all the time. Oh my God, it's really bad, but totally worth the watch.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, what is your trivia?
So at that time, basically a whole bunch of these movies were doing the main characters running away because their parents would not approve, right? And then this is the first movie where the guy was like, fuck that shit, I want to win your family over, right?
Yeah.
And that is what actually I think is the reason why this film became such a big hit, because it's not just about, because I think with all these other movies where you run away and stuff like that, it's a bit of a selfish take by Indian standards, considering we give sanskar so much importance in this country. there's a lot of there's an element of selfishness in it, because your parents are not okay with it, so you're not even willing to try to get them to understand your perspective.
And
You're
not just
like,
that, they're all very young also. Like in
yeah,
those movies, they're all really young. Like, what is your plan? Run away
exactly. I
and
mean, we
what?
all saw Kayamat Se Kayamat Tak. I mean, that
Yeah.
was like, that's a bad plan, guys. If that's your plan, it's a bad plan.
That's a stupid plan. Like,
That was a
I
bad
mean,
plan.
you need to have some sort of like backing, okay, you run away, but have
At least माँ के गहने लेके जाओ यार.
Okay, no, don't steal.
माँ के गहने बाबूजी के तिजोरी से पैसे निकाल के लेके जाओ, कुछ तो करो.
Like, I was just like, I think in Kayamat Se Kayamat Tak, the cousin is like giving him some cash, being like, here, take this. And I'm just like, no, that's not enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so this was that movie that came along, as like this take, completely different take, because you go in thinking, oh, they're going to fall in love, and her father's going to say no, and he's going to run away with her. Only to realize that no, this guy is like, no, I'm going to make your father see our point of view, see that I love you more than anyone else will ever, and then make it happen. So I think that was a big trigger. That is why this film, like all distributors feel like that is
all did well.
Is because it kind of encapsulated the family as well in the love story. So I was like,
okay, don't you just love like Kajol's confidence in this? Like she's like, oh, at the airport train station when they're leaving. She's like, oh, you'll come for my wedding, and he's like, no, and she just automatically just assumes, oh, he's in love with me, that's why he's not going to come for my wedding. I'm like, confidence, Kajol, confidence.
Talking about Kajol's character, there is something that was done in this movie that was never done before and has never been done since, and I am very upset that it's never been done again, because I think it was such a great direction, such a great step in the right direction, and then they just went the opposite way. So Kajol's intro scene has the realest wind-blowing hair scene I've ever seen in my life before. I'm sorry, but if it's a windy day, it's a windy day, and if you have not been to the salon before this windy day to get your hair professionally done, and if it's a windy day, your hair will blow just like hers did in this film, all over your face, and you feel like you're trapped and you cannot breathe.
Yeah, your hair does try to kill you at times. I do agree with that.
So, like when I saw that yesterday, I paused and I was like, "This is why this film is perfect. This is the reason. This scene is the reason." I was just going to say season because I was combining the word scene and reason to make season.
Yeah, season.
But this is the season.
No, I love her. I loved her confidence, her character's confidence. It's just, I mean, just confident about like, okay, my dad will say yes for me to go on this trip. This boy is in love with me, and I'm going to hang this bell outside my house just in case he comes and he sees it and he'll get my message. No note, nothing. Confidence.
Nothing. At least if she had left
no note. Like I thought maybe she'd put a letter in there saying, Raj, I love you. I'm not just leaving this bell because I didn't have the space to like carry it.
That was the question I asked Sahil, and to be honest, Sahil watched the movie with me. So props to him, guys.
Of course, he's a good husband.
Props to my husband for watching the movie with me. By his own accord, I told him I'll watch on my laptop. He's like, no, it's okay. I don't mind watching it. Though he bitched and moaned throughout the film, but baby steps.
That's fine. He still watched it.
Yes. But so the whole bell scene, right? It's like, bro, Raj, what if like they didn't have place? The bitch just told you that they sold everything, and what if they had no place for the bell? And the father was like, "Fuck it, this will remind you of him," and left it in the house. Never thought of that.
That's what even. Like I was like, she should have put a note in there or something, like he should have taken the bell, taken the note out, been like, Raj, I love you. If you see this, please come and get me.
Yeah.
Something. Like, how do you it's so presumptuous. Anyway, I loved her confidence. Just leave the bell. He'll know what I'm talking about. I'll just go to India and I'll wait for him to come. Just.
But in her defense, she wasn't really waiting for him till he arrived.
No, but like she she's crying about
Yeah,
it,
no, she's
and
crying,
finally
but
when
she also told her mother that I understand what's going on and don't worry, it'll take me some time, but I'll get over it.
listen, that scene with the mother, that was a good scene.
That was a great scene. You know,
That was a good scene.
Considering Yade was our last movie, I just want to juxtapose Yade to this movie. This is how you do parental-child friendships correctly.
No, not about the friendship, but the way like the mother was talking about equality and how like her dad, like,
you know, the themes were so
didn't
well
practice
addressed.
it. Yeah, preached it, but didn't practice it. It was amazing. I loved that scene, and when I was watching it, yes, I liked it back then also. Right. As a kid, and I liked it now. Like now, it's aged also really well.
It's aged really well, and
you see the sadness that I know you want this, and I promised myself I'm going to give you all this, but I couldn't. I'm sorry, I don't have the right to make promises. It was so sad and
but I also
nice at the same time.
I also love the fact that she did this to her daughter. Like she basically, told her daughter that I'm sorry, but I can't do this for you, and you'll have to.
I can't do this. Yeah.
And then when she realized, when she saw her daughter happy with this other guy,
and
she's like, okay, it was very. She could have easily gone and made a scene about it. She could have, told her to tell him to get the fuck out. She could have told on her, told the husband and all of that. So she did. Yeah. She chose to be like, you know what, my daughter will not do the same shit that I did. And she actually, breaks the stereotype where she goes and tells her daughter, run away with him.
Yeah.
Run away with him. And I thought
with the dramatic jewelry scene.
Yeah, which is, now when I take out my bangles, I always take it out like she does. Like as though I'm packing one portly for my daughter to run away with.
I think about your nani when she's taking out bangles. I'm like, oh, like nani. I totally think about nani.
So I really like that. I also like Shah Rukh's Raj's relationship with his father as well.
That was a sweet relationship too.
And again, after a certain age, you become equals in your relationship with your children.
Yeah.
Which is what that relationship really personified. He didn't look at his son as just somebody, just his child. He was like, I want you. Again, he's somebody who's worked his whole life, wasn't able to enjoy his life the way he wants to, one of those parents who wants to give their children everything that they didn't have.
Everything.
But at the same time,
spoiled
was very cognizant that his son is not an idiot. Like, even when he finally tells him that you have to run away with her, there is no other choice left. And, and Raj's character is like, no, I don't think that's the right thing to do. He looks at him like, I know this is not the way you want to do it. But like this,
but we don't have
that
choice.
Friend, like, he was that friend.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no other option. This is the only option.
There's no other option left.
Yeah.
So I thought it was very well done. It was a good relationship because it was a relationship of equals. Like he realized that his son was in pain when he came back from his Ural trip, and he's like, "What happened? What's the name of the girl?" Those kind of things. But yeah, I like I said, there's very little with this film that you can say was wrong. Whether you look at it technically, even the way it has been shot.
No. Technically, this is like before I was editing. Okay, before I know, but this is before I was editing. I had a problem with it. That first bloody scene where Chutki is holding her backpack. Okay, the continuation is screwed because at one point her backpack is face forward, and then another point the back of her backpack, and it just bothered me so much as a kid, and it still bothers me because I like things in its place and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, and I was just like, close your eyes, Asha. The scene is coming. Just close your eyes. Don't look at me.
No, when I'm saying technically, I thought like the cinematography of the entire film was beautiful. The way they captured.
Oh no, that was nice.
I think Yash Chopra is single-handedly responsible for all of Europe's tourism.
It was lovely.
All of it.
Have you ever done that, Noora? When your train is about to leave, are you going to go bloody shopping? Okay, I'm totally paranoid.
That is another thing. But I feel like that is because you and I are paranoid travelers. You and I wouldn't do it, but I know a whole bunch of people. I'll just go get a samosa. I'm like, bro, the fucking train is going to leave.
But it's going to leave.
Yeah.
And she's saying also the train is going to leave. Then don't buy the bell, woman. You would have gotten it anywhere else.
That's not a bell that you only got.
Yeah. It's nothing special.
I will forgive that because then if you notice, I've realized that the both of them are bad with timing. I think both of them are just like from the get-go, they were late for the train. They've been late for every train, even when the final train, like when they finally caught up with the train later, they're sitting outside talking to each other, and then she's like, I don't want to miss my train again. she learned, he
Yeah.
did. So I think they're
He
just,
did,
as
yeah.
characters, they're just people who are never on time. Unlike Kareena Kapoor's
Okay.
character in Jab We Met, who never misses a film.
Okay. I didn't quite like that movie though. Jab We Met.
Really?
Anyway.
Oh my God, we're going to be on
No.
opposing sides of that one.
Yeah, I never liked that movie. I just didn't. It just
When we get to
irritated
that
me.
movie, we'll discuss it.
I like Kareena
it.
Kapoor, but it just irritated me, the movie.
So
Anyway.
my other issue with, again, this is, I'm guessing maybe girls used to do this, but I guess because I never did it, so I just find it really weird. I found it weird then and I find it weird now. Is first of all, coming up with an imaginary guy in your head and then falling in love for said imaginary guy.
No, she didn't fall in love. It's just she had this like vague, like sort of list of things that she wants in her man.
Maybe she wanted
Which we all
Resham
did.
jaise Saso wali. What the fuck is Resham Satin?
Just someone with good breath, with good oral hygiene.
That's just a weird checklist item to have for a guy.
No, people don't want bad breath, man. Like that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's really not. That's what she means. She wants someone with good oral hygiene, and that's one of the things on her list, and that's absolutely fine. Come on, think about yourself when you were a 20-year-old. Mine. I had non-smoker. I had tall.
A smoker.
I mean, you live and you learn, you know.
I think which is why I said this is not such a big deal. Also, is because I never actually made a list of qualities I wanted in a guy. Also because it was never like. Also, I think I was such a tomboy, always around guys my whole life. I kind of saw them come in all shapes and sizes, and it kind of in my head was just like, this is just stupid to have a list of outward qualities.
I had a full-on list. Like I was just like, I want tall. I want someone who loved me intensely.
Also, if you've seen my dating history, Varsha,
you don't have a list.
I don't have a type, right?
So
I get it. There's some girls who have types. There's some girls who will date pretty much the same guy over and over again, but in different forms. I am one of those few girls who doesn't have a type, which is why this particular thing of having a list or having certain prerequisites that you need in a guy doesn't make sense to me, because I'm just like, but why?
No, I think it was a very normal thing for girls to just have like this idea of like, this is the kind of person that I would like to be with.
I also feel like this is what happens when you raise your children separately from the opposite sex.
Why would you think they were raised separately from them?
Have you met her father? Do you think she had the freedom to hang out with her guy friends? Do you think she would have gone to a co-ed college or school? Girl, come on. She was engaged
I never thought.
At 8.
At 8?
He says, na bachpan mein, she knows ki bachpan se uski sagai ho chuki hai. So I'm just giving 8 as a number.
Okay, I just thought from the time she was born.
Whatever, that's worse, I feel.
Because she was, he says, itni si thi.
Yeah, the timelines don't add up a little bit,
Yeah, it's a little all over, like it's a little confusing, but I feel like she was 1 or something when they moved. So she was engaged at 1.
Yeah, the other piece of trivia I just feel that everyone needs to know, just to put everything in perspective, is the film, of course, is 26 years old, and Kajol was 20 at the time of shooting this film, and Shah Rukh was 29 at the time. By the time the film released, he was 30.
Oh,
yeah, it was a month away.
Is that why he didn't want to do the movie, because he thought he was too old to play such roles?
I think so, because he needed a lot of convincing to do the film. And I understand why. I feel like somewhere he knew he'd get type fucking cast too. This movie typecast the shit out of Shah Rukh.
Yeah, it really typecast him. Poor dude. He still has to do that arm thing. I feel his pain.
I feel his pain. He should have such amazing movies before this one came about. You're like your Dars and your Bazigars, and though I personally hate Anjam as a movie just because I thought that took it too far. Oh my god,
that was too much.
But like,
they really did take
it like Koila and all, man. What the fuck happened to that?
I love Koila.
Dude, that song in Koila, the one where he's like very swinging on the chandelier, was my jam, dude.
Loved it. Gungti mein chanda hai.
It's amazing.
I love that movie, Koila. Oh my God.
Okay, I have a
My
question for
maid
you.
and I went and watched in the theater. You have a question for
I
me,
do
yeah.
have a question for you. I just feel like you might know the answer to this one because I tried
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't find the answer. So you know
Okay.
when the chithi comes, the friend's chithi.
Okay, he sniffs it. Is that your question? Why
So he
does he
sniffs
sniff?
it. No, he sniffs it. That's fine. That's normal thing to do. Something
Uh-huh.
comes from a different country, you want to sniff it. Unless it has anthrax in it,
Do
in which
you?
case unless it has anthrax in it, in which case I would implore you not to sniff it if it has anthrax in it.
Okay.
But then he goes on to say Punjab ki khushbu. And my question to
Okay.
you, Vasha, is what does Punjab smell like, according to you?
What has been? It smells like home to him. Whatever. Like
I feel
smells
it
like
might smell
earth.
like sarso. Smells like
Maybe
mustard.
some mustard. Maybe it smells like mustard. I'm not too sure because I've never been to Punjab, so I don't know. But to him, it smells like home. I thought you were going to argue, being like, "Oh, the letter has been through so many places. How can it still smell of Punjab?" I
No,
was
but
going to
I
be
think it does. Also, I used to write a lot of love letters to Sayan also and to other boyfriends when I used to date them. So I used to always like
God.
spray it
You're
with
so.
perfume
You're
and
such a
then put it
good.
in. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
was very good.
God.
So I used to spray the paper with perfume before I used to
You're such a
write
good
on it.
girlfriend, Noora.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to put it into the envelope and send it. And recently, Sal
Mm-hmm.
found a whole bunch of like these letters that I sent him in one care package, like right in the beginning of our relationship. And some
I
of them
remember
actually
that care
still
package.
some of them still smell like the minute I smelled them, I was like taken back to that perfume I used to wear at the time. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, dude, there is something about this. So I'm thinking that he must have dipped the letter in sarson ka tel and
Sarso?
waited
As
for
though
the
they can't
letter.
find mustard oil in their house, dude.
No, maybe in the 90s, like they didn't get mustard oil in London. I don't
Okay,
know.
if you say so,
I'm
Noora.
just saying. Also, just
You're such a
FYI,
good girlfriend, but
I
I
think
can't believe
any
you wrote
child.
letters and stuff.
I think. Oh, thanks. I do have a bit of a romantic bone. I've realized that now because I'm married to the most unromantic human being on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
I've realized that I do have a very strong romantic bone, and I blame Shahrukh for this. So Shahrukh, if you're listening, go fuck yourself.
Of course, because that's what he's doing. He's listening. He's
Excuse me,
highly
Vasha,
jobless.
Shahrukh is
We are in a
definitely
pandemic.
yes. I'm sure he is listening.
Of course. Hello.
So, hi, Shahrukh.
Hi to Shahrukh.
Just saying, I'm in your city. The other thing, this is again sort of not a warning, but like information for kids who are trying to get their parents to say yes for that Goa trip that you want to go to, but your parents are saying no. Yeah. So see, manipulation of parent 101.
Oh, that was awesome. I thought she was genius.
Genius. I thought the way she got him to say yes to a 1 month trip. Unsupervised.
Yeah, 1 month trip. With her friends.
Unsupervised. I was just like, dude, Omjay Jagdish is the
oh yeah.
What is it? Bhajan
every
to
parent's
it is the bhajan to sing. If you notice
awesome. I loved it.
Omjay Jagdish makes a return in a lot of movies. Huh? It was there if you want to show up the cool guy in college using Omjay Jagdish.
Oh yeah, kuch yeah.
You want to tell if you want to manipulate your parents into staying with you, even though you're an adopted child and they don't really like you that way. In Bagban, using Omjay Jagdish.
Omjay. Shut up. So sad. They love that Salman.
And yet they didn't live with him.
Oh my God. Noora, I'm not going to get into Bagban right now.
Maybe there was nothing for them to go back to. They could have just been like, peace out, I'm living with them. But no.
No, they just wanted to be independent. I think that's what it was. They just wanted to be independent. My issue with one of the songs in Zarasa Jhoom Lume, what was the timing like? They were in a barn.
There was a bit of a timing issue in that.
Yeah, at night time. And then suddenly they're running when it's like daylight out. And then suddenly she's really drunk and he's not. And then suddenly she's sobered down because obviously she's jumped into a pool and stuff. Also, before that, he says, I don't have money for a hotel room, which we know is a lie because he's a rich kid.
Mm-hmm. But babe, you also need to understand this was traveling in the 90s. So either you had traveler's checks or you had cash. So I'm assuming that he left some of his cash or traveler's checks in his luggage that was in the train that they missed.
His
And
no, his luggage was
knapsack,
just his bag.
in his knapsack, he
luggage was
only
just
had
his
X
knapsack.
amount of money.
No, don't become so defensive. His entire luggage was
Girl,
his
you
backpack.
defended Yade. Okay, I'm literally defending one loophole in
defended-
this movie.
I loved that movie. It was very genuine. It was very genuine. My
Listen,
love for
there's a lot
Yade,
of
I
aggression.
still like him.
There's a lot of spillover aggression still from that movie, so I would implore you not to get into Yade again.
No, but okay. Anyway, so this I can't agree with you that he didn't have the money to pay for a hotel. But they were at a swimming pool in a hotel at some point, and then she sobers up, and then he gets drunk, but then he's the one who's taking her to that room. How?
Yes, I have nothing to say for that. I think that was just because they wanted that song. They wanted that song to happen.
But so it was a good song.
It was a great song. I will dance.
I
will dance
really
to it
like
at
that
any
song.
point in my life, even when I'm 95 years old, got a walking stick,
Yeah.
and I need an enema to take a dump, I will dance to Zara Sa Zindagi.
Of course, Nora. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Just thank you. And you did you like notice that there was no one like clicking that picture and there was like nothing in the background?
Yes. That picture is one of those pictures that I noticed even back then when I watched it. I was like,
back then,
nobody taking a photo at this point.
It was not something I noticed now. It was something that I noticed back then because back then I was looking at the because I always have this habit of looking at the background people, like what are they up to and like who's watching the shooting and stuff like that. Right. And then when you see the picture has like greenery in the back, and I'm just like, no, that's wrong.
That is wrong. No, also who took the picture?
But how good was that song?
Because the 3 girls were standing behind her and the 2 boys were standing behind her. Who took the fucking picture? Unless there is a 4th guy that we don't know about. Oh my god,
there isn't. There isn't a 4th guy. But how good was that song, Rukja? Oh god, what a good song.
Also, did you notice
I really enjoyed
the song Rukja did not have any white people? It had one table of like 3 white people. Everybody else was...
Really? I didn't notice.
So that song was shot in India.
I just really enjoyed that song thoroughly. Though the waiters were quite useless.
They were the worst. Like if we could give an award for worst waiter, it would be given to the waiters of Rukja. Because they were just not doing their job.
They weren't doing, and they were like yanking the tablecloth and dancing with this and stuff. I was just like, no, do your job, buddy.
I have trivia for the song.
Of course you do. Hit me with it.
At the end of the song, when he drops her on her ass, that was a suggestion made by Farah to Shah Rukh, but they didn't tell Kajol. So the reaction she has to being dropped is her real reaction.
Oh my god! I was like, ouch! That looked painful.
Yeah, he actually dropped her.
That's quite mean.
Yeah, but it was made for great television. Movie.
Did you get bothered in when they were in the barn and she was trying to light that fire with all that hair around her? Weren't you like fearful?
That is what you were fearful about. You know what was irritating me? The fact that she was using home light matchsticks to do it.
She's using home light, and I'm like, woman, you're sitting on hay and you're surrounded by hay. You're going to fucking burn in flames.
Yeah. So So there was like we said, if you want to be nitpicky, there are a couple of things here and there. But if you take a step back, unlike a movie like say Jhoom Barabar Jhoom or a Yaade, where you would have to take at least 1 million steps back to see if it was okay film. With this one,
so I don't like that you're like hating on Yaade still, but okay.
I'm so scarred.
What do you mean? It was a good movie. Oof.
I'm not going to say anything anymore. I feel like I have made my peace. I have said my piece in the last one. I'm not going to say anything again. So anyways, coming back to DDLJ, you take a step back from the nitpickiness and you realize that in all, it was a really good film. But now the real question, the question that everyone is here for, or rather the bunch of questions everyone is here for. Do you think in 1995, after this movie was over and that train went wherever it needed to go, Do you think Raj and
How
Simran
did she
will
get her
stay?
passport?
No, that I figured out. That because they were going to Delhi, they were not going fucking abroad. So Bauji would have posted.
Correct. Acha.
So the question is, do you think Raj and Simran would have made it in the real world in 1995?
I think so. I think so because I mean, like she seemed quite short-tempered, like her father.
Right.
And like she would get angry for the smallest things, like okay, he's late and all of that. But he knew how to handle her.
Right.
He handled her pretty well. Like he was quite chill like that, So I think they sort of balanced each other out, and I feel like they would have worked out, especially for back then. Like I know people are going to be like, oh, he didn't have a job. No, he had a rich dad, and his dad was like, you can join the office tomorrow. So clearly he's going to join the family business and he'll be just fine. He's in his early 20s. I wouldn't think that they'd get married immediately, or I wouldn't like condone that, but I'm guessing like in these kind of situations, and like back then, that's what you're thinking, that they're going to go back to wherever, to London, and get married and then start their lives. And I think they would have worked out just fine. She would have like been irritable for a bit, and then of course you don't think it would work. I feel like they would have worked out.
And I have
why not?
I have reasons too. Okay.
And I'm going to like fight your reasons.
Okay, you can, but I'm just saying that. Okay, let me ask you a question. Go back to your first relationship and think about all the shit you took because of your first relationship.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now we also know of these two before they met each other, right? So we know that Raj's lifestyle is partying and friends and staying out late. He stayed out so late and partied so much the night before his graduation that he was late for his own graduation.
Yeah.
We know that he is kind of a womanizer. That by his own admission, he's had a lot of affairs. And that kind of personality doesn't change overnight, no matter what you do. So
there's nothing wrong with having a lot of girlfriends.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay with it. But you also need to understand they're 21 in this movie, right? We're assuming they both went after graduation, so at least they're 21 in this movie.
Yeah.
And she has never had a boyfriend before, whereas he has had multiple girlfriends before, right? So I feel like there will be a lot of culture shock that she will get because she does come from a very conservative family. She
comes from a conservative family, but you saw her friends. It's not like they were conservative too. So it's not like she doesn't know.
But she also wasn't somebody who condoned that kind of behavior. She wasn't someone who longed to be part of that life. At least that's what
I don't think she longed to be, but I don't think she like didn't condone it or something. Like
she didn't
she was fine
it because
with
she asked him flat out in the barn, "Tumhe sharam nahi aati ladki ke samne daru peete hue?"
Okay, yeah, she did say that. Yeah.
She did say that. So she does not
But then again, she doesn't, but then she drank.
She drank out of necessity. She drank out of necessity.
Maybe she's just like, I'll give it a try.
She gave it a try, and then we all saw what happened, and she got really traumatized after what happened because he also played that really, really fucked up prank.
Oh, that was a bad prank
to play.
Yeah.
So what I feel is that so I know that opposites attract. That's a lot of what people say, that they were so different that's why they work so well. But I feel at some point when you're that different, it becomes a problem. And the thing is, he's 21. There is no need for him to slow down right now. If he wants to party for the next even decade, that's actually a very normal thing to want as a young person. We've all done it. I partied all the way up till I was 27. Is when I kind of retired my partying shoes and started going out for like more like dinners and chill nights, right?
Yeah.
And it's not wrong for him wanting to go out and party and hang with his friends.
But maybe she's a late bloomer. Like me, I didn't like it at all because in school and in college and stuff, we were going out, but I didn't enjoy it at all. And then once I started dating Karan at like 26 or whatever, that's when I started going out with him, and it's fine. Like, it's not like I had a bad time, but I have a good time when we do like go out.
Yeah, but then you also need to understand you're 26. You're fairly opinionated. If you don't like the night, you can leave. Those kind of things. You also need to understand she's 21. She's, her opinions are still being formed. She's for 21 years of her life, she's been under the very conservative thumb of her parents. And she genuinely thinks that is the right way to live your life, to be conservative, be close to your culture, to those kind of things.
No, I feel like she'd sort of be open and like experience things.
I have not like seen being like, one shred of information that suggests that she'd be open to a crazy lifestyle. Not a shred of evidence. If you have a shred of evidence, is crazy.
No, first of all, I don't think his lifestyle is crazy. I just think that he's crazy.
Dude, his intro scene is of him lying in a pool with bottles of beer around him, passed the fuck out after partying all night. You tell me that's not crazy. Tell me
that was quite extreme. But then I don't know. I feel like
my only thing
she would be like, open to.
There will also be some sort of expectations. She's going to expect that, okay, after everything that we've been through, we're going to hang out and we're going to chill. His expectation would be like, I just chilled with you and your family for so long. Why don't we go hang with my friends? She'll be new to the group. She'll find it weird that everyone is drinking. Dude, we know these girls. We know these girls. Don't tell me we don't. Okay, I know a friend of a friend. I know this friend of a friend that I used to party with. He was like a complete party person, like a proper cokehead. He's had like coke it up like crazy and drinking and partying and after party, the after party, that kind of guy. And he got married to this like super power girl and all of that. And then when she realized that this is his lifestyle, I mean, the guy did coke.
She started doing it too.
This is the guy who did coke on his wedding day, the day of his wedding, not the Sangeet, not the reception, the day he was getting married, before he was to come out to the Manda video. So this is that guy, okay? So now after they got married, she realized, okay, so this is his life. So she's like, okay, fine, fuck it, I'll also do the same thing. But obviously, she was like 27 or whatever at the time, and she just couldn't keep up, and she just like got really fried. 2 years later, they were divorced. Okay, so I'm just saying that two separate, two opposite sometimes can work against you. Right? And also, let's not forget, this was just a vacation infatuation. We've all had that. We've been on these long vacations where you've met a cute guy or a cute girl. And you've had like a fun time. There's been like a little touching of the hands and like complimenting. Maybe
you've been like flirtatious, and
all of that. But then when you come home, you just realize like, fuck that, she didn't know we got that kind of time. And they've taken like a vacation infatuation and they kind of blown it out of proportion, and they want to get married to that vacation infatuation, which is where I feel like the problem lies. Which is why, in my personal humble opinion, I feel like they wouldn't make it in the real world.
In the real world, I feel like the only issue I have is I don't think you should marry your first boyfriend, but there's nothing that suggests that that's her first boyfriend. I have a problem with her cheating on Kuljit, who was done quite wrong, may I add. Because they
tried really hard to make him seem like the bad guy, but I just like, he's just like a Punjabi guy, dude, like a manly Punjabi
what's wrong? What was wrong with him? Like
this for that one scene where he told Raj's father that let me get married to her, then she'll stay here and I'll come.
No, but like think about it. There's a sleazy auntie approaching you at your like wedding party, being like, oh, you come to our kitty parties, we have fun. You're just going to humor her and be like, yeah, sure, auntie, like I'll join you. You're not actually
auntie,
do it.
I'm talking about Raj's dad. When they go out,
Raj's dad is like, oh, you come to London, I'll show you a good time. He's just humoring him, being like, yeah, sure, I'll come.
I think that was supposed to show him in a bad light.
In a bad light. No, I found it funny that initially when you're like, oh, where is Kuljit? This is Simran's father saying, where is Kuljit? And they're like, oh, he's gone hunting. It's like, oh, so cool, he's gone hunting. And then he shoots a fucking pigeon, which that's not hunting. That's just like for fun. I mean, I don't know what that was. That's definitely not hunting. And then he shoots this bird, and he suddenly had a problem with it. But he goes hunting. That was like,
what do you think he was hunting in Punjab?
What? Yeah. Like, what do you think he was shooting?
When they're
like, okay,
they're cates for as far as the eye can see.
You can see, yeah. Like, what do you think he's shooting? Like, it was crazy. Like, you have a problem with him shooting pigeons, but any other animal is fine. Just not my pigeons.
It's a double standard of life.
Yeah, it's really weird. But that was my like I felt bad for like Kuljit for her like cheating on Kuljit because he didn't do anything wrong. He was a sweet dude. He was excited to get married. He was all I mean, I had a problem with him hitting Anupam Kher because that
Yeah.
was totally
But
unnecessary.
that was to Lankaro Raj's character anyway.
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah,
was
that
getting
was a bit
annoyed that
unnecessary.
Raj was just taking the beating without like retaliating,
Beating.
and he was
Yeah.
feeling like, why are you not fighting? Because he's that butch, manly, masculine guy. Like, why aren't you fighting
Yeah.
back? So I think that
Yeah.
was his last ditch effort to be like, I will beat your
And I
ass.
felt bad for Kuljit's sister, who was like so sweet,
Dude,
being like, "Oh my god,
though they
that
did
she
Preeti the
was so
worst.
cute."
They did Preeti the
Yeah,
worst.
Preeti, poor
Because he held
Preeti,
a
dude.
hand
She
and
was all
everything, man.
yeah, that was by mistake. That was his
Yeah,
dad.
but like to her, it wasn't a mistake.
To
Huh?
her, it wasn't, and it was
And
so
then
cute. Like
father
poor
goes and
thing.
promises, "हाँ शादी करा देंगे," and then study.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah. And I'm guessing they would have told people and stuff, saying, "Oh, she's gonna get married next. She's gonna get married next." It was so sad that she was just like, and she wasn't even like bitchy about it. She was just like, "Okay."
Dude, she had no dialogues in the film.
Oh my god! No, she did have that Karwa Chauth dialogue. She had that little bit.
That's it.
That was the only dialogue, really.
That's it. Even when he's
Oh my
leaving the
god!
house after the whole lecture from Baldev, she doesn't say anything.
Yeah, she doesn't say anything. She's
And
just like sad.
when Simran runs to him and catches up with him on the
She
train, she just
was. She
smiles in the back.
smiled. She
But I have a
smiled. I
feeling
was like,
maybe
"What a
that was
sweet
a smile
girl."
saying that thank the fucking God I have a boyfriend. Don't know how I was going to get out of this one. I feel like that was what the smile was.
No. I felt bad for her. Poor thing. She was all like, "Oh, I love him. I'm gonna go to London and enjoy my life, and then not gonna be stuck in Punjab." And then, yeah, shattered dreams, shattered. Oh, so sad. Poor thing. Very sad.
Okay,
Anyway,
I have
was that
another
your
question.
question?
I have another
Oh,
question.
okay. Mhm.
If this film was to be made today,
Okay.
what do you think would be different? Story
I
wise.
don't think that fight story wise, I don't think it needed to be changed much. Apart from maybe the whole like the scene of the prank that he played, probably that needs to be skipped just because that was really unnecessary to like be like,
But
oh,
we,
a woman's izzat.
but we live in the 21st century and we live in a world of TikTok and Instagram, and Reels is a whole genre of life. I mean, pranks are a whole genre of life.
Okay, I
Maybe
don't
maybe
know
he did
what
the
that.
flask
I'm not on
quoting
social
thing.
media.
Maybe he did the flask quoting thing to get a epic reel.
Oh my god, I don't even know what that is, and I don't want to know. I
It's
don't
the
know what the kids are up to.
Instagram version of TikTok, Asha.
Noora, again, I'm not on social medias. I
No, I'm
don't know these
explaining it
things.
to you. It's the TikTok
Acha,
version
okay.
of Instagram.
Anyway, I just thought that whole like, oh, we slept together.
Yeah, that was
But
it.
oh,
That
sorry,
was
I
in
just
poor taste
pranked
anyway.
you.
I think anyone who
Yeah,
does that
I think
joke
that.
on someone who's a
Yeah,
virgin and who's a little
yeah,
anal about being virgin, I think
yeah.
anyone who plays that kind
That
of
was
prank
not
on
good.
someone like that is that's just wrong.
And then another thing, maybe like towards the end, the drama of like hitting and stuff. I think that would have been skipped. And now that's about it. I don't think anything like if that needs to be remade. I think I really don't have a problem with the movie.
I actually think if they were to remake the movie today, one of an interesting way they could have taken the story would be that Simran actually is living a dual life where she's very sanskari and everything
in front of the parents,
and then like at 1 a.m. sneaks out at night to go meet her friends and drink and party and everything. And I think that would add a very interesting dimension to her character.
To her meeting this dude.
Yeah, because then you'll also understand the attraction to this guy. Like this guy who's completely different from her, and then who for the first time she can actually just be herself because that is who she is. She wants to be that, not the crazy party girl, but just someone who can just do what she wants to do. And he allows her to be that. Be like, yeah, dude, let's do this. You want to go there? Let's do this. You want to do this? Let's do it. He's someone who just encourages her to do what she wants to do. I feel like that would be a really interesting take on that relationship.
Yeah, but then you don't have this sweet, like innocent girl,
It
but
is
which
yeah, but see, the thing is, but that's not a gold standard in girls today.
no, that's not a goal. That's not a gold standard, but that's what the point of the story is. This like sweet innocent girl and this like crazy dude sort of getting together.
Yeah, but I also feel that if you gave this girl a second dimension apart from just a sweet innocent girl, it would make for a stronger relationship.
Maybe.
Like I feel like I would see that couple lasting a little longer because their entire relationship is based on something tangible. She
and wait, I have a question for you.
Right.
Who do you think would play the lead? Like that's my question. Like since you want it, if it's remade.
That's a tough one.
I'm just pouring some water for myself.
Yeah, but that's a tough one. Who would play them? Like I said, this film was so beautifully cast. They're just trying to think of
you can't really pick anyone, right? Like I can't even pick another hero because I just can't.
Oh no, I think Shah Rukh just knocked out of the ballpark. Okay, let's tweak the question.
His dimples, man. My God, it was so cute. Oh my God, those dimples. Those were so cute. So cute. What's your tweak question?
Okay, let's tweak the question. Let's say if we had to pick up the story in 2021. So they got married in 1995. Let's assume your thing happened and they made it. What kind of parents do you think they would have made?
Parents? I think I feel like they'd be chill.
Yeah.
She'd be all like, okay, I had a strict dad and I didn't have the thing to dream, but like I want my kids to dream. And he's going to be like, I had a chill dad. I had the best dad in the world. I'm also going to be your best dad. I think they'd be super chill.
Yeah. I think the story they should make today is Raj and Simran have had children, right? And whatever. And their child, maybe a daughter,
is going back to Punjab.
No, has fallen in love with this guy or girl, depending on how open-minded the film is. And what has happened is that she actually wants how do I put this? This is worded very correctly because I don't want people to at me. Okay, so they've had this child who is, just like a free-spirited child. They've raised, like you said, they both been fairly chill. They've not really stressed out about it. I mean, they have a little bit, but like overall, they've been fairly chill. So they brought up their child fairly chill. But the child falls in love with someone who was brought up by fairly strict parents and whom have the problem with the relationship, but not in the same way as Baldev Singh had. They kind of are just like, oh, we don't want you to marry her just because of her parents. That's the issue.
Okay.
It's not the fact that they're not sanskari or whatever, but like I don't like the parents. Pull a Jackie Shroff from Yaad and be like, unke parents achhe nahi.
Yeah, they see so many levels.
So like if Jackie was to get his daughter married to like Raj and Simran's kid.
I think Shah Rukh would totally win those people over. It's just like, let's have them over.
Who do you think would play Shah Rukh and Simran's Raj and Simran's child if there was ever a
No, I don't really I don't know the young lot, but I can't even think of.
Should I say something super controversial?
Oh, I'd say it.
I think that Ranbir Kapoor and Alia Bhatt play siblings.
Oh God. Why? I
don't know. I just think it's funny because they're dating. I think it'll be funny for them to play siblings.
Oh my God. No, I mean, I don't quite like Alia Bhatt, so for me,
I think she's a good actress, so I'm good with that.
I know you think she's. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's just my opinion. But I can't think of someone to like play their kid. Maybe they're like Shah Rukh's own kids. Because she might act. And she's a good actress.
Aryan and the daughter.
But I like Shah Rukh's daughter. I think she'd be she'll be a good
Do
actress.
you
I
think
think
there should be two
the-
daughters then, Suhana and Lisa? That would be really interesting.
that would be interesting too.
Okay,
I
another
think the
question.
daughter will be good.
Do you think it is? I know we touched upon this in our last podcast as well, but like this whole marrying your first boyfriend bullshit,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like that. So that's my pet peeve with all movies from the 90s and the early
Yeah,
2000s,
that's my
because
issue. Your
they
first
never
relationship.
show,
Yeah.
the girl have had any other boyfriend before.
Any other relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
So,
They don't
and
show it. Yeah.
which is what they actively propagated to girls then, and I'm
Yeah.
guessing a lot of movies even do it till late.
Yeah.
But in your personal opinion, considering we've had our fair share of boyfriends and stuff like that,
Yeah.
do you think, if you go back thinking about
Mhm.
your first boyfriend, if you were to marry them,
No.
no, right?
I don't think it would have worked. No chance. No chance. I mean, no way.
No, and like one of the things that really gets my goat with this whole marry your first boyfriend thing is I had a first boyfriend, and he like at the time, if you ask 19-year-old Noor, he was a really sweet guy for the first 25 days. Great guy. Did these big gigantic romantic gestures and stuff like that, but that's all he was.
Yeah.
He was just these big gigantic romantic gestures.
For me, I think
else.
mine was just a friend. Like it just.
But pyar dosti
I think we just. Oh God, Noor. No, he was just a friend. So it's kind of like ruined the friendship. But there was like really nothing else. It was
because like now when you see the person that person has grown into, this is what we even said in our last thing, that if you want to marry your first boyfriend, then like break up, go meet other people and come back and still like each other, right? Like when I look at like my first boyfriend today, and I'm just like, wow, we are wildly different people. Like,
we're very different people. I don't know him also anymore.
Yeah, I know. I only know him through his Instagram or whatever, and I'm just like, wow, this is such a different person from what I knew.
Yeah,
and such a different person from who I am right now. That
but have you like tried to reconnect? Because I think I tried to reconnect.
I'm friends with most of my exes, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, I for me they just don't exist. But I tried to reconnect with my first boyfriend, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah,
no, you can't.
I also think
you can't become friends again. I feel anyway.
I mean, I say friends, but I use the term very loosely. Like it's not like I can call them at 3 o'clock in the morning with a problem.
No, I know, but you're like cordial with them.
Cordial, yeah, we're fairly cordial and stuff like that. But through that cordial relationship, you also get to know. Like they'll wish me on my birthday, and I'll wish them on their birthdays, and we'll have those customary exchanges of a few, how are you, what's going on, what's happening. And when I look back on my first, of course, there've been a lot of boyfriends since, but like since we're talking about, in this case, just the first boyfriend, and when I talk to him today, I'm just like, I think about it, I'm just like, wow, this person has evolved into something that I cannot connect with anymore.
Yeah.
And
you can't connect with, but then also you I think like you think of that time very fondly. I like that. Like I like that. I mean, I don't want them in my life. I never
look back at a
now
relationship with anything but fond memories. Yeah. Even though my first boyfriend was
I do have some of those.
Asshole to me, as you know.
I do know that.
Asshole to me, to a point where I was just like today, like 32-year-old Noor looks back at that 19-year-old Noor like, teri matti mari gayi hai kya?
I don't hate on anyone. You know me. I'm not going to hate. But I just think, I mean, I look at it very fondly, and I just think that it was such an innocent time. It was just so sweet. And now just like, obviously, I mean, I'm a completely different person, and I found my perfect person, and I'm just happy in that situation. But I would never advise anyone to marry that first. I wouldn't ever advise someone to like.
I would. A bad idea. Like if you really think that this person is for you, I think the best thing to do is break up for a few years and then come back.
Yeah, get some like space from. Like I know someone who dated only one guy, and then they broke up, and he like went his own direction, and she went, and then they got back together years later, and they got married also.
And we also
So-
know the opposite. You and I know a friend in common who had this boyfriend, and it was a very intense relationship, and they dated. It looked like they were going to be married. In fact, they thought they'll be married right out of college. And they knew each other since they were like much younger and stuff like that.
Correct.
And then finally, and he was a bit weird. I remember all of us meeting him at different points in the relationship and being like, this guy is a little weird. You know, and she was such a great girl. I mean, she is such a great girl, and you just wonder why she was with him. And then finally, I think she got the courage to break up with him, and we were like, yeah, okay, cool. But they were so good, you're just like, yeah, they'd end up together anyway because they were like so close to each other. And like what, a year later, maybe 2 years later, we got news of her getting married to this completely different guy. She now has 2 children and like a whole bunch of businesses, and she's thriving.
Yeah, thriving. And she's such a speaker.
And that's what I feel like telling a lot of girls these days that I know it feels like you can't do better than the guy you are with right now. I know that's how we feel. A lot of us felt like that when we dated our first person. Like, we cannot do better than this. Trust me, even if you cannot do better than this, a step down will also be fine. Because you'll be happy.
Or just your own company is fine, man. You can take care of yourself, but that's also fine.
Because this is a conversation I have with a lot of like friends. Like lately, I've reached out to a lot of people, and there's been a lot of reminiscing during this whole pandemic. We reminisce about when we were younger and what we used to do, and the fact that we would actually leave our houses. And I find it so strange because so many people, I mean, almost everybody in my friend circle not ended up with the person they were with when we were 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, it doesn't work out. I mean, I guess it takes a really special person for you to like end up like that. But I just think at that moment, it's great. You're in school, you're
college.
You see each other every day, or in college, and you see each other every day. It's different. It's very sweet. You look at each other. It's a different, it's completely different experience, and it's a really nice feeling, and I'll never forget it. I just think it's the sweetest thing in the world. But do I want that? No.
No, and also
now I want real. I want a man.
Yeah, and also we did a lot for our relationships back then.
No, I never did, man. I was never that chick.
No, like you tried a lot more than you realized you needed to. Like you said in the last podcast, like your relationship needs to be the easiest part of your life. But when you're 18, 19 years old, your relationship is the only thing in your life because everything else is like mundane because your relationship is the important thing.
Most important thing,
and
true.
And then you're going over and above, and your thoughts are consumed by a relationship, or just generally, you're like looking at how can we hang out together, planning. So the relationship kind of consumes you, which is why you don't get a macro view of your relationship. You're very stuck in the micro,
But were you in love like with your first?
Also, we didn't know what love was, baby.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that is how I
agree. Like you think you're in love, but no, you're not.
And that
like,
is where
you'll be fine.
That is where I think Bollywood has its really fucked up part to play, because we were always told the first guy you are with or first girl you're with, in some cases, is the love of your life. Like we've never
and you always play like Pehla Nasha in your back in the background.
Literally the song is Pehla Nasha. Like literally it is your first
it was your first crush song. It was so cute. Oh my god,
and
such a cute song.
I feel like we were done a massive disservice as millennials. A massive disservice by Bollywood, by teen comedies, by all of these movies from the West that had just about started coming in the early 2000s, where you meet someone in college or in high school and they're like your sweetheart, and you end up with them. There's a mild inconvenience and then you end up with them.
And then you end up with them,
and I feel like that is such a disservice they did to us, which really skewed our entire perspective to love. And that also we thought that this was love. Today when you're in more stable relationships, you're with people who bring out the best in you, the person who makes your life easier. You realize that you were overcompensating for that. You knew somewhere deep down inside, you knew that this relationship is shit, But
Yeah.
everything on the outside was telling you that no, this is your first boyfriend, this is your first love, and this is perfect, and you'll never get over him if you don't, close the deal with him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, what are you talking about? Because legit, I'm not even joking. When I look back at my first relationship, I'm just like, that 19-year-old was an idiot, because I took so much shit from him.
Yeah, you were quite
so
foolish.
much
I never
shit
took
from
shit from anyone.
in the
I very
name of
rarely took
love,
shit
because
from
I
anyone.
thought that is what someone does when you're in love. And this
Yeah.
is also how a lot of toxic relationships go on for so long.
Yeah. No, for me, I had different level confidence. I don't know what it was, but I was very like if not you, someone else.
Yeah, and there's
like
so
that.
much
I don't
pressure.
know why.
And you know what I
don't know
find
why.
really fucked up
Like
is,
for a quiet chick who's like very shy otherwise, I was always like in my head, I'm like, if not him, someone else, man. Like boys are just
no, you used to say, I know which song you used to sing also in your head.
what?
Never out loud.
Like which
in
one?
Your head. Aaj ke ladke, I tell you.
Shut up.
What to do.
Never. But like I remember like Sanju, my maid, who like my nanny and who brought me up, she would always be like, no, you're just better than everyone. And I'm like, really? Like me? And she's like, yeah, you're just better than everyone. Like, they'll all come and go. You'll be fine. Don't worry. You just, you do your own thing. You'll have your own money. And I'm like, I just genuinely just believed her.
That was such a great thing to happen to you.
Yeah.
Imagine if you didn't have that
she was just like,
at home. Oh God, you would have been with your first boyfriend now, yeah.
Maybe. And I, like when he broke up with me, I remember like I was crying in my room, and then she was just like, what happened? And then I told her, and she was like, yeah, like you're just better than everyone. I'm like, who everyone? You don't know everyone. She's like, I know everyone. You're better than everyone. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna make your own money. You're going to you're going to make your own money. You're going to find someone who loves you. First of all, you find someone who loves you. And I'm like, what? I mean, no one's going to love me. And she's like, trust me, there are like hundreds of people wanting to love you. You just have to tell them that you want to be loved.
That is some massive ego boosting, man.
Yeah. She just lived. I literally cried one time, Noora, when I was broken up with. I literally cried once. And like, I mean, I've never been broken up with after that, but I literally cried that one time. That was the day I was broken up with. That's it. And she literally, the way she made me feel after that, I'm telling you, like any guy in my life, I was just like, if not you, someone else. It never bothered me. And I thank Sanju for, thank you, Sanju.
Dude, seriously, guys, PSA, you need to
never felt that way.
Sanju, wherever you find one.
Yeah. You need to. I'm telling you, you're better off. And honestly, like people come and go, like boys and girls. People come and go. You what you're left with is you. You need to figure out your shit for yourself.
I would like to quote the great Jackie Shroff from a really bad B-grade movie. I don't remember the name of which. It's the one that had Amisha Patel and Aftab Shibdasani in it. I don't know the name.
Oh, that movie. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Pyar is part of life, not
heart of life.
So I'm just saying, guys, like, if you are in a relationship that isn't working out, whether it's your first, your second, your 10th, your 100th, it doesn't.
Kya ye hi pyar hai was the name of the movie.
So if you are part of a relationship that is not working out, no matter what number the relationship is at, it doesn't matter. You will always find somebody. And if you don't find anyone else, I mean, I know this sounds really, like something you tell lonely people that, oh, you should be enough for yourself. But honestly, the only way you can be in a relationship is if you're happy with yourself. So if there is a takeaway, you must take away. It is this takeaway.
It is this takeaway. I think we just took a really weird turn.
No, but see, it is something that I've been wanting to discuss, because we've like the 2 movies plus now if you add these 3 movies that we've now researched have all been talking about your first love. And I think that's going to be a theme that we're going to notice from movies from the early 2000s and the 90s. It's always about the first love. It's always about, the first time you fall in love, and that relationship means everything. And like I said, it scarred us all as a generation. And I think it's time for us to kind of, tell everyone that we've been through that. We've longed for the first love, and we've been heartbroken from that first love, but we've come out on the other side knowing very well that we're absolutely okay We waited. We
Yeah.
did the right thing. We didn't settle for the first fucking guy or girl that came our way.
Never settle.
Never settle,
Never
guys,
settle.
because that's what it is.
It's
And
always
yes, I know that there's like that small fraction of people that meet the love of their lives when they're young and they end up together for the rest of their
Yeah.
lives, and it's beautiful.
true.
It's obviously not directed towards you, but to
Yeah.
the other people listening, the rule is that you will not end up with the person you're with when you're in
Yeah.
your early teens or your late teens. The
True.
exception is that you will end up with. So don't be the exception.
That
be
is
the
the
rule,
exception.
bitches. So
Or be the exception, whatever makes you happy. But like, please, like, have your own life.
yeah, no, but I
Don't
also
morph
feel
into
that
each
guys
other.
and girls, like relationships are something that, like you said, they come and go so easily and so beautifully also.
Yeah.
Because like I said, all my
Yeah, it's lovely.
I think all my relationships, barring one breakup that got a little weird and messy, the rest of them, even the breakups are fairly decent, and like the relationship was also fun. So I always look at everything with a lot of fondness.
Yeah.
I think just have as many relationships as you can. You know, like meet new people, have new experiences, date the kind of guys that you wouldn't normally date, or date the kind of girls you
Yeah.
don't. You don't know what you learn about yourself. But don't fall into this trap that there's only one person made to complete you. I know people who've been in multiple relationships. I know people who've been in multiple marriages. I know people who've been in so many different kinds of situations, and they've only grown from it. And they're the nicest people you know, because they've just had so many.
True.
So yeah, so don't pigeonhole yourself.
Don't settle. Never settle.
Never settle, girl. Never settle. So I have another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
The music of the film.
Oh
Do you
my
have
God.
thoughts?
I do. I love every single song. I love every
Iconic.
single
Mehendi laga ke
song.
rakhna till date is played at movie. That at wedding.
Yeah, till date. Like, I mean, every song. Like, I can't. I don't know which song I don't like.
Like my favorite song is Na Jaane Mere, because it's just such a.
It was so cute.
It was so well
It was
done.
such a cute.
And you know what?
And
I think I
once
like
you listen to it, you can't stop singing it.
Stop singing. So, and I
Right?
think the reason we like the movie is because Lata Mangeshkar's voice hadn't gotten annoying at this point. Unlike Veer Zara, where her voice had gotten.
I love Veer Zara's songs also.
Yeah, but like, but the songs and that, like, little pitchy
But
they were. Okay.
Even Mere Khabo Mein Jo Aaye, like,
Beautiful song.
it was such a good song. All the songs.
Also, like, I think every girl, and maybe a few boys, I don't know, but you know, masculinity is something that is looked upon with a lot of love in this country. But I'm guessing some boys and a lot of girls have danced to Mere Khabo.
Yeah.
In their room.
Of course, we all have.
After the whole family has gone to bed, locked the door, jumped off the bed. Mere Khabo mein jo aaye.
Yeah, and ho gaya hai tujhko to pyar sajna.
I love it.
I love it today because it just doesn't go out of your head. And I watched the movie day before yesterday, and
I'm still singing.
I've been singing it. Yeah, I'm still singing that song the whole day. I've just been singing.
Also, this Ho Gaya Hai Tujhko Pyar Sajna is one of those songs, like, it just resonates with me in such a intense, like from the first time I've heard it. So not just like this time, but like from the first time I've heard it. It's just been a great song. Like, I wanted to dance with Sahil while the song was on, and then asshole just said no. You know what I said about being married to the most unromantic human being on this planet? Well,
but in Sa's defense, I don't think Karan would have done that either. Well. Neither would I.
Well,
and like, Crew is the nicest man in the world, but he wouldn't. He would just be like, "Babe, please, no."
I doubt it, but okay. No, but I'm just.
But what songs?
It's such a great song, like all of them. And I like
the little slight exaggeration of the Kate one. That was a bit much.
The one where
with the ladies.
Raja Pardesi.
Desi tera des bula. Oh, that was a bit of an exaggeration.
I love that song.
My all-time favorite song is Tujhe Dekha To Ye Jana Sanam.
Tujhe Dekha To Ye Jana Sanam was cult.
Yeah, it was such a sweet song. My God, what a lovely song. And
प्यार
love is
होता है
crazy.
दीवाना सनम,
Yeah,
अब
so cute.
यहाँ से कहाँ जाए हम, तेरी बाहों में मर जाए हम.
To anyone listening, Noora is a little tone deaf, so please excuse her.
I'll fix it in post. I'll increase the
song
pitch
is
and reduce the
perfect.
chuckle.
But the song is perfect. Just don't go by her singing.
Hey, I'm a great singeress and my people know it. Holla at me in the comment section.
Yeah, sure, Noor. Sure.
Oh yes, that
It's
reminds
such a good
me.
song.
I also have to tell our listeners, our Spotify and Google podcast listeners, we are now on YouTube. Do all the YouTube thingies. I will not say it because
What is it?
myself like that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that because Karan was like, "Are you saying things?" And I'm like, "No,
we're not saying it.
anything."
So we're on YouTube. Do the necessary things that is required. Don't make me say it.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not saying anything. I said, first of all, I said it's Noor's department. I'm not getting into it. I'm just here to speak my bit, and that's it.
Yes, it's just in my defense. I cannot bring myself to say the line that people say at the end of them.
Yeah, we're not gonna say
I'm just like, no, my mother did not raise a beggar.
Let's shake on that.
Shaking vigorously.
Yes. Let's shake vigorously. Let's just not do that ever. But yeah.
Also, don't you want to go on a Uranus trip now?
Not really, no.
You don't want to go see Drake in Australia.
I went with my parents, so for me, it's
maybe with your friends. Going with your parents, like where you would have found another bunch of boys and fallen in love with your Raj, and then you would have followed you back to India like a creepazoid.
No, and they try to do that in Bachna Hasino, and we all know what happened to Manisha Lamba.
Oh God! So no. Though Jogi Mahi is my favorite song.
You like that song? That's a sweet song, but I never liked Ranbir Kapoor. No, I liked Bachna Hasina, the original.
I like Jogi Mahi.
Okay, I never liked Ranbir Kapoor.
I just need the lyrics. What are you doing? Because suddenly have forgotten the lyrics to this.
Jogi Mahi Heer Ranjana
That I know.
Jaake main ye bolna.
Jogi Mahi Heer Ranjana Sablo Jaake main ye bolna. Baat bol ke Raaz kholna. So yeah, I just forgot those 2 words, the 4 words. It's a nice song. That movie was nice. It was a little new agey, nice, but a little again made women seem like no massive change can happen in your life unless a guy comes in. So which is I was like, oh. Yeah,
and the only thing I liked about the movie was Choti Ungli Pe Nachayegi Tumhe. She's a small tangle. Because you've said it so many times. Dude, I didn't even know which movie it was from till you started singing it to me. And
that is like, one of those songs that I have in my repertoire. So every time somebody is made to dance on somebody's Choti Ungli, I'm just like, I'm just like, girl, it's not for Tish. For me, it is Choti Ungli Pe Nachayegi.
Yeah, for me, it's wappa. For me, it's always wappa. And I have the whipping app also on my phone.
So if you had to do a takeaway, if you had to do last thoughts about the movie.
Last thoughts? Okay. Yeah. I think everyone should just watch it at least once in their lives because it's just such a feel-good film. Yeah. It takes you back. You don't overthink anything. Just sit, like, just lay down in your bed, throw on a blanket, just watch it, and just, I don't know, it makes you feel really nice, and I really enjoyed it.
I think my takeaway from the movie is that I think it was very well shot. It captured both Punjab and London so beautifully. Kind of makes you fall in love with both places, even if you've never been there. So, and also there is one particular scene which I think was shot so well when Raj and Simran meet for the first time in Punjab, and she runs to him in a sarson ka khet. I thought the juxtaposition of the black and white to the yellow and green was just beautiful.
It was so cute. It was so
I feel
very well done.
If you can, you should watch the movie. It's a great watch. Watch it with somebody that you love. Watch it alone. Watch it with your family. Literally, this movie can be watched with anybody.
With anyone. Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah. I can't wait for Avi to see it.
I swear, this is definitely like we have to come up with a top 10,000 list of movies that he's going to have to watch before he goes out.
Yeah.
And this will definitely be on the top. And if you're worried about, if you're somebody who gives a fuck about IMDb ratings, this is an 8.1, and I think that is a very low 8.1. It should be a 9.1, if not a 10. I personally think so. So yeah, we had also. I just realized, Rasha, in the last podcast, we didn't tell people whether they should watch Yaade or not.
Because I just assume everyone's already watched it because it's such a good movie.
It's a terrible movie and nobody has watched it. So,
listen, Vinod texted me and he said he loves the movie. Yaade.
And he's your friend and
he
I'm
does.
not.
He's my friend. Yeah, he is my friend. You're also my friend. Anyway, please watch it.
Yes, please watch it. And I hope you had as much fun listening to this as we did recording it. Love and light. We'll see you in the next one.